Welcome. The next talk is How Many Mobile Linux Developers Does It Take To? By Evangelos. Evangelos worked with Purism on the Librem 5 phone, and he contributes to GNOME and Debian after receiving his early edition of the PinePhone in 2020. Evangelos, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Almost everything that you said is right. I do work for Purism, phones, Debian, on mobile, blah, blah, blah. But actually, there was this little change in plans. So originally, this talk was supposed to be about some of my experiences, and particularly the failures that occurred, or maybe funny stories during, so the experiences that I've gathered throughout the last couple of years running these sorts of devices, and sometimes things maybe not quite work, but yeah, this is not actually going to happen today. And if this is what you are interested in, and this is the main reason like why you came here, because this is not exactly what's going to happen. Just for a little kind of a tease, I mean, it's not not a Debian shirt, but I still very much appreciate the sentiment behind the whole mobile Linux kind of thing, and it's been getting larger and larger, I would say. Lots of people, different communities collaborating, cross-pollination, and so on and so forth. But then again, this is not actually the talk that you have signed up for, and is not, as I said, there was management told me I needed to do the other thing, so please just lower your expectations, because you will not learn anything of value in this talk. But maybe you do. I'm not your boss. I cannot tell you what to think. So basically, you know how we had Enrico's talk yesterday, the adulting thing, and it's pretty funny, and I end up thinking, well, I'm an adult, right? We all are. It cannot be that hard. So if you haven't seen it, you should, but on your own time. Pretty much I want to say it's a bit of an odd life. Don't you agree? I mean, this whole world and so on and so forth. And it will take some time until you get it right, and maybe you don't get it right, but you think you do. And people will shout at you to turn down the music in the hotel rooms and these sorts of things, but you are a considerate person, and you obviously don't want to upset anyone, and you will hopefully apologize, but I digress. You're here for mobile Linux. Weird stuff. You're not going to get it. Consider my balls. It had to be done. Oh, this is the wrong slide, sorry. Yeah, so we all have these lizard brains in our heads, and if you subscribe like to the cult of, I mean, Debian is a sort of cult, right? We are all having some very profound beliefs. There's free software. We value privacy. We value, oh wait. What? Why? I always get these calls, and okay, who is there? Hello? What? Okay. I will find out who you are, and we're going to have a serious talk about this. Please let me continue with my presentation. Sorry, it's been a nice couple of days / weeks, and I am having trouble like counting the days, because You know, the days don't exactly end at midnight. But yeah, a personal message from me, and this is coming kind of back to a couple of the things that Enrico was talking about yesterday, and I think he hit the nail right on the head with pretty much all of the things that he said. So again, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch that. Love thy neighbor, up-install anarchism. Please do run Debian on your phone. Sorry. It's great. You can do all sorts of things. It's the same software that you're running on your laptop, but we're doing the upstream thing, but with like Purism and lots of other projects. So I'm like kind of coming a little bit back to the mobile Linux thing. So I will hopefully still manage to, like reach your or meet your expectations. Anyway, this is a good thing to do, and I believe you should support it. And I'm not only saying that because I work for Purism and I happen to like to eat, and this is paying for my food. But yeah, this is already pretty much the end of my talk because, you know, lots of changes in the actual thing. There's a couple of things that I still want to tell you about, but yeah, if you have any questions, blah, 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 IRC, you can figure that out by yourself. I will have another talk on Sunday evening, check the schedule, and this will be like the actual talk about what's been going on, what is Mobian, PureOS, Debian, how does this work, a lot of different things that I think probably most of you are actually were hoping to hear from today, but you're not. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, okay, wait. Oh, no. Let's just continue. I want to take a couple of minutes before we go over to the questions, if you happen to have any, to express my very, very sincere gratitude for a couple of things. First of all, I am super happy that I get to be here in India, and first of all, I want to have you people thank again the organizers and everything. Can I get a round of applause for DebConf in India? Woo! It's probably not just me, but you know, you get to know all these people, and they are the finest of humans available. You get to have good talks, good discussions with all sorts of people. People just come up to you, and this is like the sort of thing that I absolutely enjoy. And yeah, one of the things that I'm thankful for. Please do consider other people, as I'm not going to go into that, but don't be a jerk. If you happen to be a jerk, try to apologize, try to consider their perspective, and don't burn yourself out. I'm pretty much echoing what Enrico was saying, and maybe for my personal philosophy, I'm taking the liberty to like hijack this talk. Do not judge people. You don't know where they've been, where they're coming from, and we know, like, we hacker types, we like to like push the boundaries. We want to see. We don't necessarily want to break the rules, but bend them as far as we can reasonably do. Yeah, consider your environment, apologize, I said this before, and people, if you apologize, people will appreciate it if you actually mean it, if you're sincere. And finally, consider your sleep cycle. You will be descending into madness, and you will have it like documented on IRC, and yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a tree-shaped professional. And careful with that X, Eugene. finally, a couple of special persons. Guido, who sadly cannot be here, you are the absolute man, and it's Mojo, Joost, Tafit, JC, Zadik, the local team, the bursary team that got me into this place, and as an epilogue, oh, yeah, yeah. You are all a bunch of weirdos, but I love you, and let's install anarchism everywhere. It works in Debian. We do things because we want to do it, so maybe try applying this to the rest of the world. It works, right? And what could possibly go wrong? Oh, I didn't put anything on the slide, so maybe just, yeah, thank you.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
Does anyone like some banana?
IRC. There's one on IRC.
Oh, which nickname?
Jathan.
Jathan?
Jathan. So it says, Evangelos, what does it mean 46 and 2?
Okay, do you know the band? Okay, he doesn't know the band Tool, but progressive rock. It started in the early 90s. They have this album called Anima. There's the song on that album that is called 46 and 2. It has to do with, you know, DNA having 23 chromosome pairs, 46 chromosomes, and there's like some theory of the +2 would make you a better human, because there's some theory about like Aborigines or some people that are like isolated, only having 44, and kind of an evolutionary thing. And in that song, and I will try to be as brief as I possibly can while still conveying the actual message. It's pretty much like my favorite song from Tool, and it is pretty much about, it has a lot of Carl Jung's psychology. It talks about the shadow, one of the archetypes that is like very powerful, and when you're sleep deprived, you start like seeing things in the corner of your eyes, I've heard. And yeah, this shadow is very blah, 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 blah. Super song. This is why my domain is what it is. Tool and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Also, always carry a USB-C with you, because at these hacker people, you can like connect with people. They have these ports. You just have to find them. Anyway, any other questions?
There's another one from Jathan. How has been your experience using a PinePhone A64?
Is it what?
PinePhone A64.
Yeah. I mean, the PinePhone was my very first device, and this is what got me into the whole thing. And so it was the PinePhone Braveheart edition. I got it shortly after FOSDEM 2020. So at the time, Arnaud, the founder of Mobian, who's like an awesome person, he's like on the flight to Brussels, and he has already gotten his device, and he's just hacking away in the plane. And he ends up like bringing a Debian up on the PinePhone. And again, this is the Braveheart edition, so the very first publicly for sale device that you could buy. It's reasonably cheap, and this is one of the reasons why lots of people are interested in it, because it's like doing the mobile Linux thing, upstreaming. It seems to like check all the right boxes. And so I get my device. I end up like trying all the different images after Arnaud had announced this on the Pine forums. Mobian is the one operating system that runs the best. Others are freezing because they have patches that increase memory clocks, blah, 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 blah. I end up joining him on Matrix. take or look at all the software from Purism, package it for Mobian, then we have a good working relationship with especially Guido and a couple of other people in the end, and we formed this Debian mobile group. But yeah, so this basically is what kick-started me getting to the point that at the end of the year I start working as a freelance software developer for Purism on the calling application, doing some things, and yeah, and even before that I was already entrusted, since I did send like patches here, patches there, take packages, upload it into Debian, become a Debian maintainer. I don't quite know the dates, but does not matter. So at the end of the year, I start getting paid for doing free software. And I mean, I've never had an Android before because I don't like or trust Google, so I always kept away. And I know, yeah, there's de-Google stuff and so on and so forth, but I'm like always using the dumb phones. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I'm super happy. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Banana?
Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, thanks for your talk. I want to be boring. Can you please shortly update what is going on Debian phones? You're working from Purims, and what is the current state? So what can be run on what devices? What software is it usable? Just shortly.
Okay.
Sure, we can Google it, but it would be good to hear.
Don't use Google.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll try to be as brief as I can. But again, I refer to the talk on Sunday where I will talk about this in more detail. You have a couple of different options. So there is on Mobian, and Mobian is like very small layer on top of Debian, and you basically on this phone right here, this is running Debian Trixie, and so plus some like kernels and so on. I've been maybe PinePhone. I've been using it 2020 since until the end of the year. I start working at Purism. I get like the same sort of experience, but like the hardware is obviously a lot nicer, and of course this is reflected in the price and so on. But I've been using this for 3 years, and yeah, there definitely have been a lot of rough edges. Things have improved considerably. The phone that's the best supported is definitely Purism's Librem 5, but you pay for that. For Pine, it's a different story. We do obviously have support for the PinePhone. So the PinePhone and the Librem 5 are considered to be the two most well-supported devices. Also, if you look, for example, at the post-market OS's wiki, like they have this big table. There's lots of stuff in there. And are you specifically looking at Debian or just like general mobile Linux? Because there's a distinction that... Okay, you're not looking. Why are you asking the question? No. There's a couple of Snapdragon STM845 SoC-based devices like the OnePlus 6, OnePlus 6T, Pocophone, and Klab from Postmarket OS, a special shout out to him, is like an absolute beast, and he has been working a lot on like mainlining those sort of devices. Camera isn't like working yet on them, but if you run Postmarket OS, you can do, as far as I know, pretty much everything else. On Mobian, the audio routing, as far as I know, I don't have the device, but as far as I'm aware, is not yet working. And just last extra bonus content, I believe, and I might be wrong, and sorry to the Postmarket OS folks if that is the case, but that they are employing some sort of hack to get the audio routing working on Postmarket OS with the OnePlus 6, OnePlus 6T, potentially Pocophone, And in the future, there will be lots of different other phones, like the Fairphone. People are doing lots of, primarily they're selling, I believe, the Android user experience. But anyway, this is not what we want. In an ideal world, this is not what we want to be running. And I believe, so Luca Weiss, for example, who works at Fairphone and is, you know how the Fairphone 6, I want to say, is about to be coming out. Yeah, I know. Last sentence. They are working a lot on mainlining this stuff, and like he's involved with PostmarkOS. They are all interested in running this sort of things. Actually, I don't think most of, or maybe any developers of PostmarkOS are actually daily driving their phones, but it will be done. A lot of people are daily driving the Librem 5 on Mobian or others. And again, yeah, there is rough edges, obviously. It's Linux.
We are almost out of time, so he'll be around. You can ask the rest of your questions to him. Just an announcement, the final video team training would start in like 7 minutes on second floor venue. So if you want to join, that's the place you want to be. And thanks,
Yeah.
thanks
I'm
Evangelos for the talk. Thank you.